Right, good morning. We have just concluded the 5+1 informal meeting on Cyprus. We are here with the Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, who is joined by, next to me, Elizabeth Spehar, Special Representative of the Secretary General and head of UNFICYP, Jane Holut, Special Advisor to the Secretary General, and Rosemary DiCarlo, Undersecretary General and head of the Department of Political and Peace-Building Affairs. The Secretary General will make some opening remarks, and then we will take a few questions. Sir, you have the floor.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you very much for your presence. At the moment in which we conclude the 5+1 talks on Cyprus here in Geneva, I want to express my deep gratitude and the gratitude of all participants to the Swiss authorities for all the facilities that they have provided to guarantee the smooth development of our work in the difficult times we are all living in with the COVID. As I believe you are aware, the position expressed yesterday by the Turkish Cypriots was that the many efforts made to solve the Cyprus issue over the years have failed, including the most recent attempt made in Crans-Montana. They believe that efforts to negotiate a bizonal, bicommunal federation have been exhausted. They believe the Turkish Cypriots have inherent sovereign equality and deserve equal international status, and the solution, in their view, should be based on two states cooperating with each other. Similarly, the position expressed yesterday by the Greek Cypriot delegation was that negotiations should resume from where they left off in Crans-Montana. They should aim to achieve a settlement based on a bizonal, bicommunal federation with political equality on the basis of relevant UN Security Council resolutions, the Joint Declaration of 2014, the existing body of work, the 6 elements I presented in Crans-Montana, and in line with the EU acquis. As you can imagine, this was not an easy meeting. And we conducted extensive consultations in a succession of bilateral meetings and plenary meetings in order to try to reach common ground. The truth is that in the end of our efforts, we have not yet found enough common ground to allow for the resumption of formal negotiations in relation to the settlement of the Cyprus problem. But I do not give up. My agenda is very simple. My agenda is strictly to fight for the security and well-being of the Cypriots, of the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots that deserve to live in peace and prosperity together. And being so, we have been able to agree that I will convene in the near future another meeting of the 5+1, the 5 plus the United Nations, again with the objective to move in the direction of reaching common ground to allow for formal negotiations to start. We are determined to do everything we can to make this dialogue move on and to make this dialogue at one moment be able to reach positive results.
Thank you very much. We will now take your questions. Okay. We'll start with Maria from Cyprus News Agency. If you can press the button on your microphone. Thank you.
My question
Maria,
is...
if you could just take off your mask when you speak so we can hear it clearly. Okay.
My question is, you said you're going to convene another such meeting in the near future. What will happen in between these two meetings? Are there going to be any more meetings by Mr. Lud or someone else that will work with the parties in order to make sure that the next informal meeting will bear fruit and will be successful? Thank you.
Of course, there will be consultations before the next meeting, as we had before this one. And our intention is to try to create as much as possible the conditions to allow for the next meeting to be successful. Unfortunately, today we are not able to reach the agreements that we would wish to reach, but we are not going to give up, and we will be doing our consultations in order to try to create the best possible environment for the next meeting.
Thank you. Jamie, Associated Press.
Hi, good morning. Thank you. Yeah, Jamie from Associated Press. If you could you give us the time frame as to when you expect this new round of talks to happen? And if I could just follow up, how do you square the circle that the United Nations has generally been, and the Security Council has been in favor of a federated Cyprus, when there's a proposal that's coming that's talking for two separate states? How does the UN come on board with that idea? Thank you.
First of all, in the discussion we just finished, there was an understanding that probably 2 to 3 months should be the time framework that could be useful. If it is too short, the period, it will not allow for any meaningful positive development. If it is too long, then it really doesn't help in our common search for a solution, for a settlement. Now, to square the circle is an impossibility in geometry, but it is very common in politics. And our position is very clear. As Secretary General, I have a mandate, and that mandate is given by the Security Council. And so formal negotiations I have to conduct based on a mandate I received. But in an informal meeting, and this informal meeting was convened without preconditions, in an informal meeting, it is, I would say, useful that all delegations are able to express their positions, and that would allow us, naturally, to interact with each other. And I will obviously also report to the Security Council on the different positions expressed in this meeting.
Swiss press agency, ATS.
Yeah, thank you. As one of the parties seems to contest the mandate by itself by speaking of a two-state solution, would it be time for the Security Council to convene again to either reinforce the mandate or to raise again the question on whether the mandate should be amended or changed? Thank you.
That is a question that you should ask the Security Council. And by the way, the pen holder in relation to the Cyprus dossier in the Security Council is one of the delegations that participated in these talks.
Thank you very much. So thank you, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you very much.